Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. Hey, so today we have a very special guest. I am super excited. My friend, my mentor, Carolyn Ozuna. If you're not familiar with her, get ready for just a great episode. Super excited here. So Carolyn she's not just a coach, first of all. She's a powerful energy healer with intuitive ability to locate, isolate, and move through pain, limiting beliefs, and blocks. If you've ever been in a training with her, it's kind of mind-blowing. So we'll get into that more. She has partnered and trained with top healers and coaches worldwide, including Joseph McClendon III, another of my mentors, and Dr. Jason Ozuna. Her transformative work has helped thousands achieve their dreams, heal physical issues, and create massive life changes. Carolyn, thank you so much for being on today. Why don't you just tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes. Hi. It's so nice to be on, Michael. Thank you for asking me to be on. I just shared this into the Spark Your Rockstar community. And so hopefully we get some rock stars on. My day's going great so far. I'm doing really wonderful. I'm excited to be on and excited to share some gifts and hopefully some life-changing nuggets to get people from where they are to where they want to be.
Absolutely love it. So what inspired you to pursue a career in energy healing and transformation?
Yes. So about 10 years ago, I just had this life-changing experience. I'm sure people can relate to having a painful experience and then it just creating so much change overnight. And I felt like I was working a 9-to-5 job and I was unhappy in my marriage and I was literally just unhappy in every area of my life. And I couldn't figure out how to get through. And I can relate to first respond. I'm not a veteran. My husband now is, but I can relate to the pain of the past. I'm sure everyone can relate to going through some traumatic experiences, and so I was thinking about just dying 10 years ago. I just didn't want to live anymore. I was just in a really dark place. I'm sure veterans, first responders, people who deal with a lot of stress can kind of relate to that energy. And when it came up, it was like divine grace. I was sitting there and I saw this event that was happening and these people just looked so happy. And I was like, I have to be at this event. I remember I only had $36 in the bank. I was like, I don't care what this takes. I had to take out a loan. I had to do all these things. I had to, trust divine faith. Everyone was telling me I was crazy. Don't do it. Stay safe where you are. It's just safer here, And I was like, no. And I remember I went to this event, but in that moment that I said yes to the event, the miracle started happening. And I felt like I didn't want to die anymore. And just that one action, as soon as we say yes to something, as soon as someone comes onto this podcast and says, yes, I'm ready for Michael Cole and his guests. I'm ready for Your Thoughts, Your Reality. I'm ready. As soon as you guys say ready, as soon as you guys come onto this, you are literally making the decision that I'm going to make a change. Because everything is literally rewiring our brain and the neuroplasticity in it. Every thought that you think, every show that you watch, every podcast you listen to, everything, every experience that we have rewires us. And so that experience changed me. And then when I went to the event, it was just like, I was just ready. I quit smoking. I quit my job. My husband left me. It was just like an overnight change. And I was all in on me. And I was just so ready to start processing the pain, and stop running from it. I'm not sure if anyone can relate to running from the pain, but that's literally living your life like you're in a fight or flight, like a tiger is chasing you. And I stopped and I turned and I faced the tiger. And I was just like, enough of this. I'm so much more than this. we are so much more than this. And from that, my husband left me one night. He said, the same person did not come home from the event. You are not the same, and I don't want to be with you. And it was both too, right? Like, I've learned so much over the past 10 years. I realized that I wasn't really showing up for him either. So it was both. But when he left me, my world fell apart. And I had to move into my sister's basement with my 7-year-old. And I just remember I was sitting there, and this is where like the Spark Your Rock Star healing business began. And hi, Emily. Some of the rock stars are coming on now. And I remember I was like, enough of this. Like, I don't want to be in this pain anymore. And I had a pity party for one. I went into a bunch of victimizations, like, you're a failure, like your failure as a wife, failure as a mom. And I just felt so much of that. And I was like, no. And that night I went on Facebook and I started the Spark Your Rockstar Healing Community. And I had this vision that what a rock star is anyone with a dream or a vision and decides to make that a reality no matter what. And so it's a decision that I made in that basement that I think got me to here. I don't think it was when I got the $3 million house, when I got the clients, when I got the outer success, when I got, I don't think that was actually when my success happened. I think my success was born in that basement because I made this decision. And that's what I ask my rock stars to do when they come into my community. I want you to make a decision. And mine was, I was watching my 7-year-old sleep. I literally had to borrow money for groceries from my sister that day. And I really just felt like a horrible person. And I wasn't, right? We all go through hard things, but I was like, my story will not end here. I'm writing a new story right now. And I was like, and I'm going to be successful no matter what. I'm getting us out of this basement. And within 3 months, we did. But that night, it was that was when the success was born, because I literally created a new identity. And that new identity, that's, I think, where the healing starts. So that's how I got into this. Sorry, I know I went on into a little story there.
Don't you dare apologize for telling your story, because it connects so many people, Carolyn. It literally, it connected me to you, and hey, taking that first action. Yeah, I asked you to be on my podcast. So yeah, rock stars.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right? So, but it connects you to people, your vulnerability, my vulnerability, the people that come on this show, and the people that are courageous enough to step up and ask for that help or say, hey, I'm stuck, what can I do? Those are the people that are going to have found that leverage, are going to take the action, and are going to have that life they deserve.
That's
so
right.
I really, again, please don't apologize, because this is what people need to hear. Literally need to hear. Your light, your energy needs to shine and come out, because it changes lives. It changes the world. Just my thought.
Thank you.
My thought is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing it. So when you got leverage that day, I'm totally going off questions already, because this is what I do.
Yeah.
So when you found that leverage in that basement, when you found that leverage, what sparked the literal drive to just say, I'm never stopping, or, this is going to be the new me, no matter what gets into the way, because that's who you are.
What sparked that drive?
What really, that leverage, what specifically was it? Was it just, hey, I'm not living the life, I think is, basically where it was, but what was it that changed that day compared to, was it, your baby? Was it what was it specifically that gave that final piece of leverage, if you will?
Yeah. Pain is an unbelievable motivator, right? We make decisions based off, we make decisions right now based on we are going to experience pain or pleasure in the future. Yes. And so our ability to be that day, it was just so painful. And I was like, I never want anyone to experience the pain I'm going through, or if they do experience it. But my thoughts have changed on that, actually, because I feel like when we don't let people experience their pain, we take away a really big gift, right? And so I feel like our ability just to be able to feel that pain. Okay, you know what? I've learned now, because I know this sounds crazy, but Spark Your Rock Star was born on a wound. It was born on my pain. And I
Yeah.
rebirthed it later on where I could just be like, you know what? Like, it's okay to feel like this. I'm allowed to have these feelings. Like, but that doesn't define me. It doesn't make you who you are. And with veterans, first responders, anyone really, our ability, this whole podcast is on your thoughts create your reality. And they very much do. I mean, there's so much scientific research that shows us that, you know, you put a piece of paper. Dr. Emoto actually shares this, where you can put a piece of paper. I could put the words love on this water bottle, and this will change the water. And if I put the word fool, it will change the water. It'll change. And they even froze the water, and ice crystals would form when the word peace or love, Mother Teresa. And then when they put the word Hitler, it was like dark and dirty. So our words, our reality, there are changing things around us. But here's the thing, here's like the secret sauce. Let me share a study that they did, because I think it's really important. You know, there were these monks, and there was this DNA that they had in front of them. And they said, okay, we want you to put all your thoughts, thoughts into just unraveling this DNA, this blood. And so the monks were there, and they were like, okay, DNA unravel. And they just used their thoughts alone. And thoughts are very powerful, incredibly powerful. And so the DNA didn't move that much, just a tiny bit. Then they said, okay, open your heart, use your heart energy to uncoil the DNA. And then it moved maybe 3%, not that much. Then the next stage was, now I want you to pretend like it's already done. Think the thought, thank you for this unraveling, like it's already been done. Send out gratitude as if this has already happened. Use that thought. So they used that thought, and within just a few minutes, 20% of that blood unraveled. So when you understand how much your thoughts create your reality, you would never beat a negative drum again. Because I would say, just in about a minute or two, you can actually you'll get a message, you'll see things happening, and so we have about 80,000 thoughts every day, Michael, that come into us. Right. And most of these thoughts are the same unless you have experiences that make them different.
Yes.
And so our experiences, people that we talk to, people that we listen to, connections that are made, we go for a walk in nature, unless you're having different experiences, then the same thoughts will continue in a pattern form.
Yeah. So the science behind it is just mind blowing. When you really take the time, be present, really learn it, it's literally mind blowing. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
How do you approach identifying and moving through deeply ingrained pain and limiting beliefs in your clients?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So I just did an event this past weekend at a soul liberation event, and I had one of the clients on the table. And when you come to these events, the energy that you feel is pretty extraordinary. You feel people to just a deeper depth. And there was a man there, and I said, come place your hands on this woman's back. And he placed his hands on this woman's back, and he just started to sob. And then the woman started to sob. And, I don't think that we create space enough just to be able to feel, not drown in our emotions, because there's a really big difference between me drowning in a river and me being on a bridge and letting the emotions flow under me and me getting the wisdom, right? And so listen to me now, this is important, everyone watching, any more than 5 minutes in an emotion, you're no longer processing the emotion. Now you're in a story. You're in an illusion. Mm-hmm. And so 5 minutes. And look, you got to give yourself some time, right? It's going to take some practice. Sometimes you'll be in your stuff for an hour or two. You get better and better at it. Maybe, and then you go back. And so our ability to make time for that and just say, why am I judging this part of me that feels shameful? Why am I judging this part of me that feels like it doesn't want to exist? I think that when we have those feelings of suicide energy, it's actually a part of us is trying to die so a new part of us can be born, but we cling to that energy. And so we unravel it. We don't just stop at, okay, I feel shame. Well, where is that coming from? What's the thought you're actually thinking? Just like I did in that basement, the meaning that I gave the divorce, living in my sister's basement, it was like a horrible person, but that's not true, but it's the way I felt.
Yeah.
So unless I feel that, I'm going to be stuck on that. That's going to come up later for me. And it
Mm.
did. Like, as and I'm so glad everything happened just the way it happened. But I was kind of piling through. I was like, my pain was piling up as I was working on my business. I was helping a lot of people, but I wasn't dealing with pain. And then around 2018, 2019, those same thoughts that I had in 2014 came back. I wanted to die, and nothing made sense. I had the money, I had the soulmate. I'm talking about miracles, my dear friends. I met my husband, and he proposed to me within a week of knowing me. A week, 1 week, and he got a ring. We knew. I met him, and I said, "I've been looking for you for 33 years," and it was like a fairy tale. So I had the guy, had the client, had everything, but I still felt like dying. My body wasn't able to kind of receive what was taking place around me, so I had to go back. I had to feel the grief of my divorce years later. I know that probably sounds crazy. And so to our veterans and to the people listening, first responders, your brain might say, I'm over this. Your mind might say, I don't want to think about this anymore. But that's when you have to say, okay, that's the treasure. As soon as you say, I don't want to feel this, you found a treasure. I'm so over this, you found a treasure, right? Because that once you can truly feel it and then say, enough of this, like, let me just feel this. Okay, at times I feel like this. At times, I feel like this. And then we're validating these parts of us, and they actually have the ability. Exactly. So many emotions are suppressed, Susan, and your body doesn't forget. Your mind might not remember, but your body does. And that's why when we work on people, and this is energy, some of the energy work that my husband does, it's rooted in NSA chiropractic work. And Tony Robbins gets this work done. Gwyneth Paltrow gets this work done. Many people get this healing work done because it's helping not just regulate your nervous system, it helps upgrade it. And so I would say the best way to overcome a block or limiting the belief is to go right into it. That means go instead of running from the pain. And because I love the pattern breaks, I love it. I love snap yourself out of it. Go, let's do it. No, this is just who I am. This is my new identity. Woo! I love it. I'm all in. Let's go. But I feel like yes, so much. Like a part of me was like, you're not letting me feel sad. And that is going to bring me into deeper compassion and empathy for others around me. You're not letting me feel angry. And that anger is going to be the springboard that fuels the change in my life. You're not letting me feel shame. You're not letting me feel these feelings. We have a strict, they're only the feelings are allowed. I don't think God, source, universe would put us here with this rainbow of emotion unless we were supposed to feel it all. I think there is great wisdom in each emotion if we don't judge it. It is only your resistance to the emotion. And guess what? You're going to feel resistant to it, but that resistance turns to reverence once it's processed.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So would you say, and thank you for all of that. I just love it, and the passion behind it as well. I've always loved that. So would you say that, take a minute, be present in it, or 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, be present in it, be curious, not critical about it.
Yeah, it's a great way to say it.
So you can redefine what it means.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really incredible way to say it. I would quote yourself on that, Michael. Be curious instead of being critical, because there's an unconscious voice in our head, right? That kind of talks to us. And I read this in The Untethered Soul, and I think it's so true. Understanding that you're not that voice in your head, that's when you up-level your consciousness. Dr. Amen says, I would never believe every thought that I think, but most people do. And that's where they get the anxiety. That's why they get the fear, because they're believing that their thoughts are true. And so a thought is just a thought. It's just, and so our ability to say, okay, my thoughts can help fuel change. I can say these affirmations. I can say these beautiful mantras, and I can rewire my brain, because every thought that I'm thinking is literally creating a new neural connection in my brain. And so every time, let's just say someone's like, I am a loving, compassionate person. If there's a part of them that doesn't feel like that, Michael, it's like a microscope going into their subconscious and no, you're not. Now, you have two parts of you. So what happens when there's a lot of trauma and war? I've worked with people that were in war. I've worked with people who've had this kind of stuff. I work with all different types of clients. And I've also worked with people who have horrible childhoods, abandonment, pain, whatever the case may be. And some of them don't even remember their childhoods because your brain's trying to protect you. So it's like, no, that was just too painful. And this brings up that repressed emotions.
So really quick, Carolyn, before you move, and I'm excited to hear this, but generally the trauma happens once. It's us reliving it that creates the actual, let's call it post-traumatic stress or anxiety or whatever it is. So if we change the meaning and break down our belief systems, it can change all of that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. I think that when you move into a place where you are allowing yourself to process this energy, the healing naturally and organically happens. And if you can understand that the reason that you guys keep thinking about it is because the energy is trying to process through. It's just so once you start to overthink a certain situation, it's trying to make its way down to the heart so it can actually generate out. But you actually have to make the sound, be frustrated, feel the emotion, do the things that you need to, and that after that happens, then you can make the changes in your life. I've had people make drastic changes in their marriage, in their business, in their life after they feel what they need to feel because there was so much wisdom behind what they were avoiding. So I like to say your emotions are like a beautiful desert landscape. And if you can imagine that you're an archaeologist and every emotion that you have is like the most ancient piece of treasure you could ever imagine. And so the thing is, we don't understand that trauma. Like think about a married couple. You see a married couple fight, right? What is some of the time they slam doors, they raise their voice, they're yelling, they're shutting down. That is not a 40 or 50-year-old woman or man. That is a 4 or 5-year-old that doesn't know how to respond, is throwing a tantrum, shutting down. So they're not actually, if we would have so much empathy and compassion, if we understood that when people are reliving their traumas, their brain actually isn't working correctly. They're literally not seeing the world like as this beautiful, safe place. They're literally in a trauma. And I see this with people on the table and I say, okay, it's time to come home. It's time to bring this little boy or this little girl home. They no longer have to be there. And so I literally take that fragmented part of their pain, that fragmented part of their personality. We grab them by the hand and we bring them home. And then from that, this healing takes place that is very hard to put into words. You have to experience it for yourself, but the relief on them, and you can see it in someone's spine when they just have so much trapped energy. Like if you see women or men with a tailbone untucked, like their tailbone tucked under, it's like a dog, almost like a dog tucked tail under because they've been beaten, they've been made wrong, they've had abuse. And so we help change that. We help let that energy, because there's so much trapped energy in your spine. Your spine is like a tuning fork for your thoughts and your soul. And so once you start releasing this energy, it releases the tension, you release the thoughts, and feels like heaven. You feel like, oh my God, I didn't even know I was carrying all that. And you get off the table and you're like, gosh, like I can think now. I'm here. I'm like nowhere else but with you. And then colors look brighter, food tastes better, sex is better. It's like all of a sudden you're like, where have I been all this time?
Love it. Hot damn, I'm on my way to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, come on down.
No, that's just amazing. And we don't realize just how much we hold all of it in our bodies. We really don't until we meet someone like you, obviously, that has the amazing soul and knowledge and the beauty that all goes with that. So thank you. And I interrupted, and I'm sorry. You're going to talk about veterans and people you've worked with and releasing trauma.
Yes, I think that any person, whether they're a veteran or not a veteran,
absolutely
can have trapped trauma in their body that they don't know they have, that is coming up in different areas. So how does trauma express itself? I wrote some things down because I wanted to make sure that I said them all. I wanted to say every one of them. So physical symptoms that show up from emotional trauma that's unprocessed: headaches, heart racing, muscle aches, pit in your stomach, chest pressure, jaw tension, brain fog, memory issues, digestive issues, body tension, hormonal concerns, anxiety, depression, fatigue, insomnia, overwhelm, aggression, procrastination, shutting down, communication challenges. So those are all things that come from emotional trauma. Because sometimes people will be like, I don't have any trauma. I don't have anything to forgive. I'm fine. And
I'm
they just
fine.
I'm fine, right? But they don't know why they keep having, they're married 3 times, they're overweight, they're having physical, but they're like, I'm fine. Meanwhile, their arms falling off on the table, and you're like, okay. And so our ability to kind of understand that trauma doesn't always look the way we think it looks. It can show up as physical symptoms, and every physical symptom has, like it's you're doing it from somewhere. It's like a frequency from somewhere. It's a message from your body. Low back pain normally comes from financial stress. If you're having thoughts that are connected to financial stress, you'll have lower back pain. Neck pain comes from feeling everything's on your shoulders. You have to do it all yourself. So the thoughts that were Michael's like, oh shit.
Literally within my head. I am not joking with you.
Migraines and headaches come from not wanting to see something in a reality that it's bringing up something that we're having a hard time seeing or processing. And so your body is literally sending you all of these messages. If your wrist is hurting, okay, feeling unsupported by God or the universe, pelvic pain, like there's so many things that comes from, just feeling demoralized in your childhood. So there's just every little symptom, every little thing can be healed. I had this foot issue, right? And I'll never forget, my foot was hurting so bad. I couldn't even walk for 10 minutes, like honestly. And I walk miles and miles a day, but it changed because I thought I had to stay in Philadelphia, right? I was like, I feel like I'm not choosing my reality or my thoughts. I feel like my family is, and I don't like that. And so I went away for a year. The day that I left, and I came back, and I'm so grateful I came back, but I had to leave for a little bit. I had to explore. Like The Alchemist is a great book to read if you haven't read it, where he goes on this, this adventure, and this risk and this reward and just all these beautiful things. And so, but my foot, the day that I left, my husband and I went to Disney World, and I walked 23,000 steps without pain. And I'll never forget, there's a book, great book. Everyone should have this. Write this down if you don't get it. Go get it. It's called Messages from the Body by Michael J. Lincoln. Everyone should have it. But it says in the book that taking a step forward, into your own decisions, not leaning on the family, for your decisions, for your safety, for your support. It's growing up. And so as soon as I made that, my foot doesn't hurt anymore. I don't have that pain anymore. It completely went away. So I'm just sharing this with everybody because I'm a firm believer that any physical ailment can be healed and changed. I have witnessed miracles. I had this one woman once, I'll never forget her, and she passed, but her name was Lainey Johnson, and I just loved her. And she loved when I told the story, so I'm going to tell it. And she came to me, and she was so excited to join my group and to be a part of this healing work. And she came to me, and 3 days after she joined my group, she lost her hearing. And she immediately messaged me, and she's like, I thought I was supposed to get better. I lost my hearing. I can't hear. And at the time, she was going through some issues in her intimate relationship. And she had to learn to communicate all over again. They had to learn sign language together. And I said, Lainey, I don't know why this happened to you. I said, but can you pray on it? Can you close your eyes and just think, why would this happen? And so she comes back to me 3 days later. She said, I know why God took my hearing. And I said, why? And she said, so I could finally hear God. And wow. I just lost it. I lost it. I just started bawling. And 6 months later, she got a lot of her hearing back. She still had to wear a hearing aid, but a lot of it came back. And her relationship with her husband was transformed. They were doing so well. They learned a new way to communicate. So oftentimes we don't realize that, we see pain as like this bad thing. We judge pain, but what if pain is leading us to a greater, grandest purpose, a greater, grander pleasure, a greater, grander version of ourselves?
Absolutely.
And so I think for veterans, for first responders, stop judging the pain, because if you judge it, you shut down the learning centers of your brain. As soon as you feel guilty for having it, as soon as they do this. And check it out. For those listening that are like, I don't know why I have this trauma, neglect, being neglected as a kid or even by your wife or your husband causes the same exact same chemical exchange in the brain as being hit in the face does. Stonewalling, the silent treatment, like that literally is causing the same chemical as someone punching you in the face.
I did not
And
know
so,
that.
yeah. And so if we can stop judging the pain, then we have the chance to heal it. If I looked at my foot and I was like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this pain. But then it's like this little girl, like within my foot, that's like, I'm ready to step forward. I want to go on an adventure with you. I want to see the world. I want this. And that part of me gets to live. That part of me gets to be seen. And now I feel it was my choice to come back, my choice to come home. And it's different now. Everything is different. Everything looks different. I'm different. I was changed by the experience of me going out there and not having my family to lean on for my comfort. I had to make new family, new friends, new connections, and they led to such joy in my life. And so I think that's the number one thing. If you can see the pain actually as a gift, it changes everything, because then when the pain knocks on the door, like, hey, I feel terrified about what's next. Hey, come on in, have a seat. I'd love to connect with you, integrate you, because everyone has parts of them that feel enough and not enough. Everyone that has a part that feels beautiful and ugly. Everyone, we have all parts. They're all me, right? And so, our ability to be able to do that is our ability to be able to heal, I believe.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And we just blown past time, but that's okay because we own the place. Carol, thank you so much for this, and hopefully we can get you back on, and because there's so much more nuggets and blessings that you bring that we just barely scratch the surface.
I'd love to know, if I could just ask everybody watching, I'd love to know, what was your number one takeaway from this podcast? What you love about Michael Cole, because he's totally a rock star. And I've never seen anyone so committed to helping other people. I don't know. I'm sure you guys watching or listening to this, he is posting a podcast 5 days a week.
Yeah.
That is, I'm not sure if you guys watch it, but it takes so much discipline, and you've done it for 60 days. This is the 60th episode.
This is the 60th episode. I did take a vacation after Joseph McClendon was on, but yes.
Can we celebrate Michael right now in the chat, for all the good that he's doing in the world right now? You can feel his heart and soul. He cares. He cares. And that's not something that I see in everyone. And you're so powerful because you're so authentic. And that authenticity is it's so wonderful. It's so real, and it's raw, and it's so rare. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Truly. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh. Thank you, Susie. So, well, okay. Now we're going to keep up with this. You know what you just created, right? No, honestly, thank you. You're such a blessing. And what I'd like to do, how do people reach you?
Yeah.
Please share that, if you will. And of course, after we're done, on this, of course, you can post it in all the social media. But also, if you can say it, because then we post to all of the podcast forums as well for people just listening.
Sure. I have a Spark Your Rockstar website you can go and check out, but I'm actually going to give your group something very special that I don't normally do, which is getting on the phone 15 minutes free with me. I'm going to send you, normally you have to fill out an application. I will not do that for you guys. You will get directly to book a call with me, and I'll give you a free 15-minute healing session. And basically we'll talk about what needs to change in your life. And if it feels like we can move forward together, we will. If not, I'll send you some free meditation. So you win either way. And I'm going to post this for you. I put it in the private chat, but that's the link. And then I'll also post my Facebook group. We have I think it's about 7,000 members in that one, from all over the world, all on their own healing journey. So I'll post that too. That way they can have both.
Okay, I'm learning something right now. I'm trying to post it. Hey, I was able to. Hold on.
Hey!
Look what I learned today. Carolyn, you're amazing. You're amazing. Hey, so just before we go, just a couple of quick things. On the top right-hand corner, I always quote to the wrong place. There's a blue QR code. Scan that QR code. It takes you to Empower Performance Strategies. Again, empowerperformancestrategies.com for people listening later. There's all kinds of resources for veterans, some ebooks that I've written. There's Facebook groups for both veterans' families and for veterans themselves. Get involved. Thank you, Carolyn. Get involved, please. Don't hide from the pain. Take an action. Take one step forward today to help yourself for your future life, because you deserve it. Because you truly, truly deserve it. So yes. With that said, oh, hold on. I'm sorry. There's one more you sent me.
I did. I sent you one more. I didn't know you were posting that. We can post it. It's probably easier for them to post in comments, but
I'm doing it now.
So wonderful. Right, thank you so much, Michael, for having us.
Carolyn, thank you so much. Most precious resource we have as human beings is time. We do not get it back. Thank you for spending this 36 plus minutes with us. You are a light in this world. Thank you so much. I'm honored to call you a friend.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone clicks this link, wherever it is above me, to go see Michael, because he's a total rock star. And I'm so grateful that he asked me on this wonderful podcast. And I just wish everybody watching to know that they're not alone. They're blessed. And there are people like Michael and myself that are here and ready to help you. You do not have to do this alone. You deserve to get the challenge, or get the support to match the challenge you face. And you can do that with Michael. So God bless you, Michael, and everyone listening. That's awesome.
Thank you. You as well, my friend. All right. We are out of here.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.